Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're heading into the end of 2025, and honestly, this has probably been the most content-packed year Star Citizen has ever had. Patch after patch, new mechanics, new ships, new systems, new events, and a load of foundational gameplay that finally started tying the whole Stanton, Pyro, Nyx triangle together. Even though, according to in-game lore, Nyx is not meant to technically have a direct connection to Stanton, but that's a video for another day. Stick around for that one. The CIG dropped a massive amount of features in 4.1 through to 4.4. And of course, we've now got the P2U build of 4.5 with the full engineering features sitting right there on the horizon. We've also got a surprise experimental feature in the form of VR Tier 0, but at present, there's no indication it would make it into the live PU release. Not at the time of this video anyway. So in today's video, I'm going to break down everything that arrived in the PU in 2025, patch by patch, what changed, what was added, what was fixed, what surprised us, and how all this sets up Star Citizen going into 2026. Let's get into it. Section 1, Alpha 4.1. Now this patch dropped around April time. It came with collision physics, mining 2.0, and the new resource cycle. Patch 4.1 dropped earlier this year and set the tone for how big 2025 was going to be. Collision physics update, one of the most underrated additions. For the first time, ships and vehicles react like actual physical objects, not just floating boxes. Ramming, scraping, landing gear pressure, everything feels heavier, more grounded, and more physical. This changed PvP, landing, racing, and even how you interact with outposts. Then we had mining update plus the item recovery tier 0. Mining finally became a proper progression loop again. We had new resource types, we had deeper scanning, we had refined fracture mechanics, and we also had the early version of the resource recovery gameplay. Now mining isn't anywhere near its final version yet, but it added a real gameplay loop for solo miners and org operations. And the ships we had that were added in this patch was the Atlas Geo, the Geoscience variant. We also had the Drake Golem, one of the more interesting industrial additions we've seen. We also had a bunch of locations and events added, like the alignment mining location on Hathor. And we also had the Valakar hazard zone, so environmental danger zones for miners. 4.1 wasn't loud or flashy, but it quietly rebuilt two major gameplay loops. I'd like to interrupt this amazing video to ask you to please subscribe. If this is the kind of thing that you like, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help me out because it tells me you guys like this kind of thing, and it tells YouTube to push my content out there to all the other Star Citizen players. Let's get back in the video. Section 2, Alpha 4.1.1. Now this patch dropped around May time. It came with the Invictus event, it came with tutorial missions, and finally faction currency. So this was a smaller patch, but with a surprising number of quality of life upgrades. We had the new flight and combat tutorials. First time new players actually have a guided experience. This reduced the learning curve and brought a lot more players into combat activities. We had faction currency, probably one of the biggest long-term progression additions of the year. You can now grind reputation and earn special currencies tied to factions. This will be huge in future patches. A bunch of ships were added during Invictus. So we had the Idris M, we had the Idris P, we had the Starlance Attack, we had the Guardian MX, we also had the Greycat MTC, and we had the Asgard as well. Now this patch also came with its own events. We had the huge expansion to mission coverage, and we had obviously the Invictus launch week build-up. This is a good patch, nothing crazy, but it pushed onboarding and progression forward in a big way. Section 3, Alpha 4.2. This patch dropped around June time. It came with radiation, dynamic weather, FPS radar, and Stormbreaker. 4.2 was where things got a bit spicy. We had the radiation mechanics, real gameplay finally tied to radiation zones, not just visual effects, actual gameplay pressure. Came with component decay, suit durability, safe versus unsafe regions, equipment that matters. Then we had the dynamic rain and environmental effects. The weather is now gameplay, not cosmetics. Visibility drops, storms shift dynamically, and survival actually matters. We also had the implementation of FPS radar scanning. This was a huge upgrade for bunkers, caves, and PvP events. This was long overdue really. Hopefully we'll see a wider implementation of this going forward in later patches down the years. Then we had the Stormbreaker activity, a new dynamic environment mission chain that tied everything together. Only one vehicle added for this patch, and that was the Atlas ICT variant, covering both geo and radiation roles. 4.2 made the universe feel dangerous, alive, and actually reactive. Section 4, Alpha 4.2.1. Now this patch dropped around July time. It came with the global resource drive and new tactical tools. It came with global resource drive event, which was a community-wide mining and hauling event with a proper economy tie-in. This will probably become a yearly event. We also had the Reclaimer PDCs. Finally, the Reclaimer got some teeth. And the ships for this one was the RSI Meteor, which was a Mantis variant with unique mechanics. Simple patch, but meaningful updates, especially for the Reclaimer. Section 5, Alpha 4.3. This one dropped around August time. We had NPC dropships. We had the Yormundi implemented. We had Cortex such as ladder improvements, dynamic snow. And in terms of gameplay, we had the release of ship flight tuning changes, medical gameplay improvements, armor and ballistic damage updates, and mission pickup locations. And in terms of the ships that were released, we had the Kruger L21 Wolf, we had the Wicklow special ships added as well, and we also got the RSI Apollo Triage and the Apollo Medivac variant as well, plus a slew of other ships implemented like the Paladin, Xperia Stinger, and Gray's Give. We also had the Onyx facilities implementation. This new ground installations with deeper PvE, FPS combat, and mission variety. A good world building patch in my opinion, but it could have been more obviously. And we do, looking it back in hindsight now, we do get some major features and ships later on in the year. Section 6, Alpha 4.3.1. Now this patch dropped around September time. It came with medical gameplay expansion. It came with NPC dropships, plus the Onyx mission finale. Atmospheric control surfaces. We got some atmospheric control surface improvements where light fighters felt noticeably better in Atmo. We also had medgel and medical tier improvements. So this brought back proper medical gameplay loops, treating, stabilizing, and extracting players. We also had an improvement to NPC dropships, which was a huge immersion upgrade. So enemies now deploy realistically instead of spawning behind players. I've actually got a video of this, of a recent patch which broke NPC accuracy, and you can check that out on the card up in the top left corner. In this patch, ships added was the Apollo Triage, the Apollo Medivac, and that was the only two for this one. We also got the Onyx event finale, which closed off one of the best PvE arcs of the year. Now moving on to section 7, Alpha 4.3.2. This dropped around October time. We got the salvage overhaul, the creatures, and Pyro's big finale. In terms of salvage overhaul, so this reworks the entire salvaging loop. We got the refining added, we got efficiency scaling, we got new salvageable debris, and obviously better rewards. We also got new creature encounters. Star Citizen got a taste of fauna, and the community loved it. Let me know in the comments if you like this one. The ships that were added in this one was just the Anvil Paladin. So this patch was basically, here's everything we promised salvage would eventually become. It was a very salvage focused, salvage heavy patch. Let me know what you thought about this update. Finally, the big one. Alpha 4.4 Section 8. This one dropped around November time. We got a new star system. We got Vandal, Hauling, and the major expansion. 4.4 is easily one of the biggest patches in Star Citizen history. Let me know what you thought about that statement. New star system, Nyx. Levski is back. We got the Delamar asteroid where Levski is also built into. We also got a new asteroid belt called the Glacium Ring. We also had full Nyx transit. So this basically gave exploration players a second home after Pyro. We also got interstellar hauling missions. The hauling got a huge upgrade, serious money, serious risk, and serious travel. I will be producing a guide on that coming up in 2026, so subscribe for that one. Keep an eye out for it. Vandal faction comes online. Major encounters, new combat challenges, early incursions. So we finally got to see the Vandal in game, although not running around. They're dead NPCs, and some are even in, spoiler alert, cryopods, right? So huge update for this patch, but it's not finished yet. There's more. We've got external station freight elevators as well, so the first real step toward physical cargo for space stations. We got character customization refresh, better faces, hair, better options and better detail, improved details in fact, and a whole host of ship releases. So are you ready for this one? Here we go. We've got the RSI Perseus, we've got the RSI Salvation, we've got the Drake Clipper, we've got the Drake Golem Ox, we've got the Kruger L22 Alpha Wolf. Very nice ship, I've flown it, beautiful looking ship. And of course we've got the Mad Greycat MDC with that automated PDC turret on the back of it, which just melts any missile or torpedo that's thrown at you essentially. So this patch elevated the entire game, and we're not quite at the end of this video yet, because at the time of recording, patch 4.5 is currently in the PTU. This one gives us a glimpse, in my opinion anyway, of what 2026 might bring. Full engineering overhaul. We're ending the year with the PTU rollout of 4.5. We need to talk about this because it will dominate 2026. In this patch, we got engineering gameplay, fuse management, system failures, power rerouting, component overheating, on-ship fire systems, actual multi-crew gameplay. I've done a couple of videos on this, the engineering patch, on the channel. Please do go check that out. Let me know what you guys think of that. In this patch, we're also getting ship armor systems finally. So armor now works properly ballistics versus energy, penetration. Yes, I said penetration. Durability. We've got fire hazards. Fire spreads dynamically. It's a whole gameplay loop. We've got physicalized helmets finally. A small but meaningful push towards physical inventory. We got Vulkan render improvements. Better stability, better performance, and cleaner frame times. I've been in the P2 several times to do some testing, and I have to say it's a much better and much more stable graphically in terms of graphics, performance with the Vulkan renderer. Let me know what you guys think and what your experience was with the Vulkan, if you've been in the P2 with the Vulkan renderer. We've got FPS AI improvements coming as well. So more tactical, less bot-like, and harder in a fair way. Now, if they're anything like the 100% accuracy Terminator bots that we've been getting currently in the PU in 4.4, then this is going to be a crazy update. Let me know what you guys think. But no new locations, but an enormous gameplay patch. So this will be the patch that shapes the first half of next year. Right, it's coming towards the end of the year. At the time of recording, it's probably maybe 5 days away, and it's going to be huge. It's going to dominate the whole of 2026. Let me know what you guys think of that patch, and yeah, just it's going to be crazy. Right, finally, my closing thoughts on the whole of 2025. So 2025 was the year Star Citizen finally felt, for me anyway, like a game that's actually coming together. We got a new star system, major events, foundational engineering gameplay, real weather systems, proper medical gameplay, salvage 2.0, hangar persistence, Nyx plus the Vandal, playable tutorials, creature AI, new hauling systems, and some of the most meaningful ship releases we've seen in years. And 4.5 is lining up to redefine ship gameplay completely. If this is the pacing going into 2026, we're going to be looking at the strongest momentum Star Citizen has had in a decade. And I haven't even mentioned the VR yet. We also got the experimental feature in the form of VR. And I've tried it. I must say, it looked very surreal. It looked amazing. The field of view, and you just feel like you're in your spaceship. Okay, I got out my seat. I was walking around the spaceship. I've forgotten what one it was, but it looked so surreal. I sat down on the bed, and I could just see the smoke coming out the vents and the sides, and all the dirt that was on the walls inside the spaceship. It just looked amazing, even at this early stage, tier 0. And I can't wait for the next implementation. And I'm not sure, because CIG hasn't said that they're gonna put it into the PU. It's gonna make the cut. I don't know, but we'll see. There's a release candidate out at the moment, and it is in there. I've seen it. I've seen the patch notes. So let's see. Right, so if you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and let me know what your favorite 2025 update was. Thanks for watching, fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse. Captain Turk out.